Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is North of Fair Conversations Without Barriers. I'm your host, Doug from Ontario, Canada. It is Friday, heading into the weekend. Beautiful sunny day today in southern Ontario. It's going to be quite warm out there, and it is September the 19th. I hope everybody had a good week. Speech under threat. Let's get this straight. I'm not a radical. I'm not a threat. I'm not part of some imagined leftist mob. I speak out against fascism. I defend inclusion. I challenge authoritarianism. And if that makes me dangerous in Trump's America, then the danger isn't me, it's the system that fears truth. The term radical left is being used to criminalize dissent, flatten ideology, and silence opposition. Trump's rhetoric isn't careless, it's calculated. And in his exact words, we just have to beat the hell out of radical left lunatics. Investigate the funders of Antifa. The left wants transgender for everyone. This isn't about ideology, it's about control. And I refuse to let propaganda define me. And you should too. It's a direct response to Charlie Kirk's assassination. Trump's announced he is drafting an executive order on political violence and hate speech. He declared Antifa a terrorist organization and called for investigations into its funders. Despite Antifa not being a formal group, no legal mechanism to designate domestic groups as foreign terrorist organizations, no evidence linking Kirk's assassination to any political movement. This order isn't about preventing violence, it's about punishing dissent. Legal experts warn it could be used to flag activists, blacklist journalists, pressure platforms to silence critics, like Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel using his First Amendment of free speech. He wasn't threatening anybody. He wasn't using hate speech. And yet, the network takes Jimmy Kimmel into the back room and slaps him on the hand and says, "Bad boy Jimmy. Bad boy Jimmy. We got to let you go." The network crumbles under pressure from the FCC, from the right, this is a blueprint for authoritarian control. It's not being written it's being written in real time. Jimmy Kimmel suspended for satire. South Park episode pulled. Over 30 people fired or investigated for criticizing Kirk, including a Secret Service agent. Canadian Parliament applauds Kirk as a champion of free speech, despite his record of opposing civil rights and promoting anti-LGBTQ plus rhetoric. When institutions clap for agitators and punish truth tellers, they're not they're not neutral, they're complicit. Trump's executive order could influence other countries. Canada has already hosted Kevin Roberts, architect of Project 2025. UK protests against Trump's visit just recently featured slogans like "No banquets for fascists" and "The people of the UK do not welcome the fascist Trump." This isn't just American authoritarianism, it's a transitional threat, and, and silence is not an option. I'm not the radical, I'm the firewall against propaganda, against silence, against the criminalization of conscience. Dissent is not extremism, it's civic duty. Satire is not violence, it's accountability. Anti fascism is not terrorism, it's survival. They say they're defending free speech, but when satire is silenced and agitators are applauded, what exactly are they protecting? From Jimmy Kimmel's suspension to Parliament's standing ovation for Charlie Kirk, they're not just defending free speech, but when Parliament applauds agitators and comedians get suspended for satire, it's clear. This isn't about freedom, it's about control. Trump's administration is drafting an executive order on political violence and hate speech aimed at investigating Antifa and its alleged funders, even though Antifa isn't a formal organization and no evidence links it to Kirk's assassination. Pam Bondi, U.S. Attorney General, pledged to crack down on hate speech, a concept not recognized under the United States Constitution. She later walked it back after backlash. Republican lawmakers like Anita uh, Paulina, Luna, and Clay Higgins are pressuring platforms to permanently ban users who criticize Kirk's death. These aren't isolated reactions, they're coordinated moves to criminalize dissent and reframe criticism as extremism. ABC News faced backlash for reporting on the assassination's personal texts, which some Republicans claimed humanized the killer. MSNBC apologized after a guest accused Kirk of hate speech during breaking news coverage, showing how quickly networks retreat under political pressure. Fox News, Newsmax, and the Daily Wire have framed Kirk's death as a martyrdom moment, using it to justify surveillance and retaliation against critics. This message is clear. Satire is dangerous, but sanctifying agitators is acceptable. Tech platforms, Meta, TikTok, Reddit, Discord, and X, have all removed footage of Kirk's assassination under pressure from Republican lawmakers. Discord confirmed the killers posted a confession on their platform promoting a House committee to summon CEOs from Discord, Stream, Twitch, and Reddit for hearings on radicalization. X, formerly Twitter, scaled back its moderation after Elon Musk's takeover, but now is being pushed to censor critics of Kirk's legacy. The same platforms once accused of leftist censorship are now being weaponized to silence dissent from the other direction. Kirk didn't just speak out, he actively promoted rhetoric that called for Civil Rights Act, a huge mistake, claimed black women like Michelle Obama and Ketanji Brown Jackson lacked brain processing power and only succeeded through affirmative action. Mock the LGBTQ plus people and call transgender rights a mental illness movement. Push conspiracy theories about demographic replacement in white victimhood. This isn't free speech, it's ideological warfare. And when Parliament applauds that, it's not neutrality, it's endorsement. Excuse me. This system that protects it. Trump's executive order on political violence and hate speech is being drafted to investigate ideological dissent, not actual violence. It's a direct response to Kirk's assassination, but there's no evidence the shooter was motivated by transgender or Antifa ideology. Claims about transgender ideology on bullet castings were debunked by law enforcement and multiple outlets. The shooter's message referenced anti-fascist slogans and video game memes, not organized political movements. Yet the narrative persists because it serves a purpose: to justify surveillance, censorship, and retaliation. This is about rebranding conscience as extremism. It's about turning satire into incitement and turning agitators into martyrs. It's about using Kirk's death not to mourn, but to mobilize authoritarian policy. And when institutions, media networks, and tech platforms fall in line, it's not just about one man's ideology, it's about the machinery that protects it. The echo chamber of hate. Candace Owens claims systemic racism is a myth, mocks the LGBTQ plus rights, defends white nationalism. Tucker Carlson pushes demographic replacement theory, defends authoritarian leaders. Matt Walsh calls gender identity delusion, promotes anti-trans legislation. Ben Shapiro frames social justice as Marxist. Indoctrination opposes diversity, equity, inclusion initiative. Of all people, Ben Shapiro opposes inclusion. And he's Jewish. Try to put that together. Diversity, equity, inclusion. And he opposes it. These, they repeat the same themes. Civil rights are dangerous. LGBTQ plus visibility is a threat. Anti-fascism is terrorism. Satire is incitement. Criticism is criminal. But it's okay for Donald Trump to criticize and mock and name call. He's a narcissist. It's okay for him to do that, and it's okay for everybody in his orbit to do that. Anybody else outside of that orbit can't do that. They take it as a threat. And now with Trump's executive order on political violence, this rhetoric is being backed by policy power, not just punitry. This isn't just cultural commentary, it's a coordinated campaign to reframe inclusion as extremist, punish dissent through firings, suspension, and doxing, pressure platforms and governments to silence critics, build a transitional blueprint for ideological control. Even Netanyahu weighed in to defend Kirk's legacy, calling him a champion of free speech and denying any connection to criticism of Israel. A move that shows how global actors are now invested in protecting the narrative. President President Trump's executive order on political violence and hate speech is a direct move to criminalize dissent. He declared Antifa a major terrorist organization on September 17, 2025, and called for investigations to anyone funding it, even though Antifa is a decentralized movement with no formal structure. It just shows you how little he actually knows. This order isn't about preventing violence, it's about punishing opposition to far right ideology. It reframes anti fascism, anti racism, and pro inclusion activism as threats to national security. Far right media outlets like Rebel News in Canada have used legal threats and court injunctions to force their way into press events, gaining legitimacy while undermining journalism. Meanwhile, mainstream networks are retreating under pressure. ABC suspend Jimmy Kimmel for satirizing mega spin. MSNBC apologized for calling Kirk's rhetoric hate speech. CTV canceled a fact-checking segment after Conservative Party pressure. This isn't balance. It's collaboration. Platforms like Meta, TikTok, Reddit, and Discord removed footages of Kirk's assassination under political pressure. Discord confirmed the killer posted a confession prompting a House committee to summon the CEOs for hearings on radicalization, but the crackdown isn't targeting far-right agitators, it's targeting critics. The same platforms once accused of left censorship are now being weaponized to silence dissent from the other direction. In Canada, far-right media is pulling mainstream discourse to the right, dehumanizing opponents and blaming marginalized groups for the societal problems. In the UK, media exposed to far-right activists even when critical has been shown to normalize their views and increase public agreement. This isn't just protection, it's normalization. And when institutions protect far-right ideology while punishing resistance, they're not neutral, they're complicit. This isn't about Charlie Kirk. It's about the system that protects him. The executive orders, the media apologies, the platform censorship, the parliamentary applause. It's not protection, it's ideological enforcement. Trump's executive order on political violence isn't about preventing harm, it's about criminalizing opposition. Media networks suspend the satirists, but elevate agitators. Tech platforms remove dissent under pressure while far-right voices remain amplified. And in all in Trump's orbit, you can see that. It's okay for them, but it's not okay for you. We are not the radicals. We are the firewall against propaganda, against silence, against the criminalization of conscience. Hate speech here in Canada is criminalized under sections 318 and 319 of the criminal law. Freedom of speech, in the Charter of Rights of Freedoms, is not absolute. We can speak as long as we're not using hate or any rhetoric to promote violence. Now, in the next episode, we'll explore how free speech is being redefined to shield power, not truth, and how to defend expression without defending harm. If they punish conscience, then conscience becomes resistance. And resistance in the face of fascism is not radical, it's necessary. Now, imagine if Trump comes up with this executive order, and how far-reaching what that would be. Would he be able to reach across borders? And come and come after you because you're exercising your free speech. We can criticize our government here in Canada. We can't threaten them. We can't use hate speech. We can criticize their policies. But if you do that in the United States, then you're the radical left, as they put it. And when Donald Trump talks about, it's the radical left causing all the harm and all the danger and all the violence, he's not talking about the Democrats in government. He's talking about every single Democrat in the United States. He is calling you a radical left. But if we speak out, and we call him out, you get censored. See, to Donald Trump, it's not about being president of the United States. He doesn't want to be president of the United States. He wants power. He wants control. He holds the highest office in the United States. Not for what the word president means. Because a president of the United States is somebody who should be collectively working with government, working for the people. Donald Trump isn't working for the people. He's got his own agenda. And that agenda is power. Because he feels if he doesn't have the power, then he's just useless. Well, he's useless anyway. He's lost without it. He can't come down on you if he doesn't have that power. We can call him out, say, look, Trump, you're a narcissist. And you're going to be criticized for that. You're going to be censored for that. Everybody in his orbit is going to come after you. But they're all narcissists too. Every one of them. They think that they only have the right to free speech, not you. You know, it's ridiculous. Of all the things, and the firing of Jimmy Kimmel for what he said on air, somehow that's extremist. And the network crumbles under pressure. That's ridiculous. Exercising his free speech, and he gets fired for it. He didn't say anything about Kirk. And so what if he did? Everybody is. If anybody is radical, it's the radical far right. It's the extremists. Now, someone going to try to censor me for saying that? It's my right. It's my free speech here in Canada. You're racist, far right extremists. And when we call you out, you get upset. Too bad. I'm not radical. I speak out. I speak up. I speak out about fascism. Discrimination. I believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion. They don't. Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend the other day was in the White House. And he was talking about the LGBTQ plus flag. He says that they're the extremists. They're dangerous. It's ridiculous. Talking about burning of the American flag. Donald Trump thinks you should be prosecuted, put in jail for it. It's a piece of cloth. There's no law saying you can't. You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend wants the LGBT to be labeled as a terrorist organization. How does that fucking work? So that's just fashion. That's just mind-boggling. And the rhetoric, you know, coming from the right. You listen. I mean, you listen to what they're saying. And you gotta give your head a shake. If you don't, I mean, if you, who's gonna speak out? Who's gonna speak out? Oh, I am. I mean, did you see when Trump was in the United Kingdom and the protests that were going on? It's like 50 different organizations, hundreds and hundreds of people protesting about against fascism. And we need to push back because we have the right to push back. I'm liberal. And if that's a crime in Donald Trump's eyes and all in his orbit, well, too bad. It's not a crime. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today. 10 a.m. here in Southern Ontario, Canada. I'm your host, Doug, from Ontario, Canada. North of Fair Conversations Without Barriers. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's going to be a pretty warm day today for September, above average temperatures. Get out there and enjoy it. When you get to your weekend, get out there and enjoy it. Be safe. And be safe at work. Everybody wants you to come home. Until the next time we meet. Oh, I've been trying to get the Monday morning shows back going again because I did it like a few years back. And I was able to do it, and then I wasn't able to do it. Now I'm able to do it again, putting out at least a couple shows a week. Because like yourself, I have a life, I got things to do. And putting content together and doing the research takes time. And putting it all together for an episode, whether it runs half hour, 45 minutes. So I'm pushing for a couple shows a week. And today I decided to come out here, this afternoon because, I had to get out what I had to say. So my next episode is going to be Monday morning. And it's hard It's hard to pinpoint a time, but I am going to go with 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can join me, great. If you can't, I understand. Because, like I said, we have a life to live, we got things to do. But you can always listen to the show afterward. If you can't come on the show and listen live, obviously I'm going to publish the episode and it's there for you to listen to. It's there for you to comment on. It's there for you to unpack it however you want to unpack it and analyze it and do what you want with it. But again, thank you for joining me. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Come out and join me Monday morning at 9 a.m. And thank you.